Hello and welcome, Lynx here, and today it is the continuation of It Gets So Lonely Here by ebi-hime. So, let's see how lonely it will be. The following morning, when it arrives, is cloudy and overcast. It is not particularly pleasant morning, but at least it is not raining. Did I say it at the wrong moment? That is some small consolation. You rise from your straw pallet, stretching, then glance about the interior of the fisherman's cottage. Yeah, we've only sort of seen everything at night, so... That is quite an old building. It looked dilapidated last night. Still does, when much of it was obscured by the shadows, but it looks even more so when subjected to the morning's light. The cottage's interior has the distinct, disquieting appearance of having been abandoned in a hurry. There is broken pottery strewn upon the ground and a singular wooden chair, which once must have stood by the singular wooden table, is lying on the floor. Great chair. The doors of the cupboards, meanwhile, are ajar, the shelves within depressingly bare. A quick search reveals a handful of edibles, but there is precious little to be getting on with it. If you wish to live here comfortably, you will have to look into foraging. Yeah. You also will need to look into completely renovating this place. You ate very little last night and your stomach is empty. I literally ate something before recording, so had to as well. It was the malcontented rumblings of your stomach, in actual fact, which roused you from the slumber. But your body seems to be very far away indeed, much like the grey clouds which choke the sky. You are not thinking of your own physical discomforts. You are dwelling instead upon the events of the night prior. You cannot help but think of the mermaid. Did you truly meet an aquatic maiden last night, during your nightly stroll when you could not sleep? It sounds unreal, especially now that the sun has risen and the shadows from the night prior have dispersed. You cannot quite believe it. It must have been a dream. But why, then, can you recall it so very clearly? You help yourself to the scant food and drink available to you, all the while thinking of your next course of action. Now what are you to do? I totally expected that choice to pop up right now. But there is not. You plan, of course, to return to the shore come nightfall, so that you might once again see the mermaid, but the night will not arrive for quite some time. Why don't you go during the day? Maybe she'll be there during the day. Like, you need to find some means of keeping yourself occupied until then. The uninspiring interior of the cottage does not furnish you with any particular ideas, so you decide to go for a walk. Your soul still aches after your exertions last night, but if you go slowly, you ought to be alright. That is what you hope, at least. You do not want to spend much longer than you have to in the fisherman's cottage, no matter how cold it might be outdoors. It's almost as cold inside as it is out, and I mean, not surprised. And in any case, the cottage is far too small. You leave the cottage behind you and set off. You know what's funny? Like, something looks like that, and right now the price would be still ridiculously high. Yeah. You leave the cottage behind you and set off. You don't know where exactly you are going, but you suppose it does not matter overly much. You don't have any particular destination in mind. Your meanderings lead you to the cliffs, which are steep and sharp. The drop to the shore is a perilous one, so much so that you have to wonder at how you were able to descend the cliffs the night prior to meet the mermaid. You're rather more determined than you ever realized. For I, of course, could have told you that much. I, the narrator. You're surprisingly capricious for such a small, slender human. You walk along the side of the cliffs, keeping a sensible distance away from the drop to the shore. You might have survived last night's excitement unscathed, but you do not fancy trying your luck. It would be so like you, really, to avoid a drop to your death in the darkness, only to stumble during the morning's light and take an irreversible tumble. Your fortunes have never been the fairest. Your meanderings along the cliff reveal to you all the manner of curious flora. You thought the night prior that the cliffs were weather blasted, but you can see now that your assumptions were incorrect. There are flowers here, very warm and bright, like the sun's light during the summertime. Or you think, with a flash of pleasure, the fair hair of the mermaid whom you are certain you spoke to last night. These flowers are sober like her hair, it is uncanny. You step towards the flowers, drawn towards them, and sink down to your knees. The tall grass brushes your ankles like a caress, the morning's dew wetting your skirt. Your clothes are getting damp, as are your legs, but you care not for this minor discomfort. You have just had an idea. Why not make a gift for your new friend? You're sure that she would appreciate it, why would she not? She told you, in a voice which was steeped with dolor, that she had been feeling lonely. You want to see her again? And when you next see her, you would like to make her smile. It is with this thought in mind that you begin to pick the flowers which are growing up on the cliffside. These flowers do not have any thorns, and their delicate stems snap easily enough between your fingers. You take care when plucking these flowers to leave a substantial amount of the stem intact. You'll need these stems so that you might twine the flowers together. You mean to make for your mermaid a diadem, something she will be able to wear in her hair. This tiara is certain to suit her. She's so pretty. Anything would suit her. You continue to work, slow and steadfast, as the weak sun shines. But it does. That's sort of the most important part in this case, I guess. It takes time, but you are eventually able to fashion something you are satisfied with. Also, you should like collect some wood or whatever that you could, burn. Just saying. You only hope the mermaid will feel similarly as well, if indeed she really does exist. Carefully you pocket your makeshift diadem, then decide to forage for some food. You discover during your search some fruit trees whose sweet burdens are enough to fortify your spirits. I mean, we could try fishing, for the present at least. It is fortunate, really, that you are so excited about your moonlight rendezvous with the mermaid. If you were less focused upon the future, and dwelt more in the immediate present, you might have more of an appetite. The emptiness in your stomach assuaged, you return to the cottage, where you mean to wait for the setting of the sun. There is very little to do. You soon discover in the cottage, other than checking the cupboards and sweeping the floor. I mean, whole renovation, occupations which both feel depressingly pointless. In here, yeah. Again, full renovation is needed. There are no books to read either, with which you might pass your read hours. You do, however, busy yourself with trying to light a fire so that you might ward off the cold. Nice. The time is horribly slowly passing, in part because you have precious little to do, but also because you cannot stop thinking of the mermaid. Gee, that girl is down deep. Will she return to the shore, as she said she would? Can you truly trust her? Oh, you hope that you can. If she were not present at your designated meeting place, you think you would die from disappointment. Whew, and the seconds continue to trickle by, unchecked by any hourglass, and as they do, the sun sinks beneath the horizon. Part of you worries, however, that it might still be too early to search for the mermaid. Will she be there yet? You sit there, your stomach tied up in anxious knots, and as you listen to the wind which buffets your windows, you hear it. The sound is faint, but you recall it well from the night before. There is a single solitary voice outdoors, tempest-tossed amidst the roiling waves. The voice is a high, clear one, silvery, if indeed voice can have colors, like a finely polished dinner plate in a noble woman's home. The voice belongs to, of course, to the mermaid. Who else do you know with a voice as angelic as that? Relief begins to bubble up inside of you. A relief so potent you feel dizzy from it. She did not abandon you after all. Ooh. Yeah, we can hear. Why, you wonder, did you ever think she would? She said that she wanted to see you. Did you think that a mere nicety? Wait, as if by a gentle breeze you hurried to the door. With trembling fingers. They are trembling, I presume, from excitement rather than fear. You seize the handle, then turn it. Then you step out in the dark, inky night. I mean, it's still not terrible. You walk towards the cliffs, as you did the night prior, beneath the cover of the inky blue sky. The wind moaning fitfully with every step you take. To be fair, she could have looked for maybe a safe way down. Or she could have tried to make one. If that makes sense. Your soul still aches from expedition the day prior, but you are able to ignore this discomfort. It seems irrelevant, really, when compared to the prospect of once again meeting the mermaid. You've known her for only one night, yet she has come to mean more to you than your own well-being. You'd do anything for the mermaid if she asked it. Psh, told you she was deep deep. Yeah. Well, almost anything. Oh, so there is an almost. Good. Good. You hurry down the sharp incline of the cliffs to the shore, almost stumbling in your scuffed brown shoes, which really were not built with rock climbing in mind. So frantic are you in your attempts to once again make the mermaid's acquaintance, you very nearly fall. Oof. It is a good thing that you still have enough sense about you to regain your footing. Otherwise, this tale would come to a premature ending. Okay. Eventually you make your way onto the shore, then approach the jagged outcrop of rock whereat you last saw the mermaid. Like the night prior, the mermaid is perched upon these rocks, her fair hair strewn above her shoulders. When she sees you from across the shore, she kisses her singing, and her eyes light up. Or at least they seem to.
Ah, so you've returned to me, my hero, the mermaid says. And then lightly she giggles. Ah, or perhaps I should say, heroine.
Actually, heroine, terrible sound.
Heroine.
Anyway, her praise makes you blush. You'd not feel worthy of it. Nobody has ever called you a heroine before. I can relate to that. You'd not even think of yourself as heroine. If a story were made about you, you'd rather think that you would be a supporting character. Huh. One without her own voice. You're not interesting enough. Oh, you'd be surprised how many not interesting characters have the main roles. Yeah. The lot. And somehow they're made into main heroines. And they're boring as hell. Yeah. Anyway, you're not interesting enough. The mermaid seems to think that you are though. Maybe our character here is. She's staring at you delightedly. As for you are the one person in the world she most wishes to speak to. The thought that makes you tremble, but not as much as the mermaid's gaze. You tell the mermaid that you do not think you are so very brave, but she dismisses your awkward remark with a laugh.
I think you are. I saw the way you scaled those cliffs. Whew, I thought that was very heroic.
Oh. Wait, so she saw that, did she? But did she see how you slipped down the cliffs, grazing your palms in the process, and how you very nearly fell? You have never been the most graceful of girls.
but to have your failings exposed before a being as poised and as perfect as the mermaid.
It stings a little bit. More, in fact, when the resultant grazes on your palms, your clumsiness rot you. You tell the mermaid that there was nothing so very heroic about all of that. You were simply excited, that is all, to see her again. You weren't thinking.
Well, that makes the two of us. I was so excited to see you again.
She was?
Naturally. I had a very good time speaking to you last night. I had hope that we might resume our correspondence. That's why I came to the rocks a bit earlier than usual. I was waiting for you. Did you hear my song?
Yes, you reply. With a nod of your head, you heard it all the way in the abandoned cottage. It called out to you.
That was a general idea. I was singing for you.
She was? You do not think that you are worthy of a mermaid's song, but if she does not mind dedicating her voice to you then.
Well, who else would I dedicate my voice to? There is nobody else to hear me.
On one point you think, oh nice, she's singing for me. On the other you're thinking, but she's singing for me because there is literally nobody else around. So should I feel good about it or not, right? In a situation like that. That's a good point, you suppose. Shyly, you look back at the mermaid. You thank her for the song. It was very beautiful. Then tell her, before you can lose your nerve, that you have prepared a present for her too.
Oh, have you really?
You have. It is a small thing, nothing more than a silly trinket, but if it would not be too much of any position, then... With clumsy fingers you reach into your pocket. Wouldn't it get squished in the pocket? For a few moments you fret that your near fall down the cliff might have damaged a delicate chain nestled within it, but your worries are in vain. The chain is surprisingly sturdy. Given it was made with only a few flowers, and it has held firm against the odds. You handle the chain with great care all the same. However, as you hold it out, presenting it for the mermaid's approbation, it was for the mermaid to fashion this chain. You thought that it would look nice nestled in her hair. You were pleased with the chain when first you made it, but after looking at the mermaid you have begun to reconsider. The mermaid's beauty is otherworldly, so much so it almost hurts. Look at her. Oof. Your flower crown, by comparison, seems a very meager offering indeed. The longer you hold your gift out, the more unworthy it feels. You have half a mind. As the second elapses to snatch your silly, wholly unworthy gift back from the mermaid before she can judge you too harshly. But the mermaid's lips curve upwards in a smile, and in a voice so full of gratitude it makes your heart throb, she says,
Oh my, did you make this for me?
Well yes, you reply, still feeling a little flustered. You saw these flowers earlier, when you went for a walk, and they made you think of her. To be fair, if you find someone who would appreciate like gifts made by you, basically, go for it. She's worth it in this case. Not. You hasten to add that you think her beauty is comparable to these flowers. They are far inferior when contrasted with her good looks. You simply thought. You are unable to get the rest of this sentence out. However, because the mermaid interrupts you, not rudely, but with something resembling compassion. Perhaps she pities you. She must be able to hear how your voice is trembling. Can she also see the way your hands tremor? Oh dear. Faint heart never won the hand of a fair maiden, you know. True. What happened to all of your confidence?
I think that your gift is a wonderful one. I not at all expected, but it really is pretty.
You look at your feet, too shy to meet the mermaid's gaze. Then you say, very quietly, that you are glad that she thinks so, but she does not need to spare your ego. You have precious little of it left, as it is. The mermaid seems touched by your shyness. Perhaps she likes her prey to be self-conscious because she smiles. Why do you say prey? You should not be saying that.
I'm not simply saying things to spare your ego. I'm not like that. Humans might spout platitudes as easily as they breathe air.
True.
But I do not compliment others unless I truly mean it.
That's the way it should be.
Is that not the point of the speech? To have an honest dialogue with one another? If one party in a conversation is withholding their true intentions, then conversation is impossible. Playing games is a waste of my time.
I hope she doesn't mean video games.
Particularly given my time above the surface is so very limited.
Oh. You blush at this, more deeply still, and survey the mermaid beneath the full fringe of your eyelashes. Then... she really does like it.
Did I not just say that? You humans are so very funny. What with all of your second guessing? She was like that too, in the beginning.
To be fair, I'm like that too. I second guess myself a lot. She?
My friend.
The mermaid's answer is a simple one, but makes your stomach clench regardless. Ah yes, her friend. How could you have forgotten about her?
She used to make me gifts too, you know. Gifts like this one. She would pick flowers on the cliffs, over there, where I cannot tread.
The mermaid gestures one hand to the cliffs, which tower above the shore, tall and imposing as though to stamp the sky above.
And she would fashion them into crowns like this one, and bracelets. I always appreciated of her tokens, for she was similarly shy when first she presented them to me. She did not seem to think very much of her handiwork. You and her are remarkably similar, really.
There is no gill in the mermaid's voice, but her words have rather taken the wind out of your sails. Of course, the cowherd gave the mermaid gifts. Why would she not? The mermaid is beautiful. She's so very beautiful, like a tutelary goddess. She seems to invite tribute simply by existing. Were you more religious? Or more irreligious, maybe? You might even consider worshipping her. For in essence, is that not what you are doing with your flower crown? How silly of you to think that your idea was an original one.
I may be accustomed to the gifts, but it has been a long time since any human has bequeathed me with anything. This is a pleasant surprise. I'm truly thankful for your kindness, dear one.
The mermaid leans forward on the rock, so as to pluck the circlet from your fingers. Her benevolent smile all the while is unwavering. And now that I look at
your gift more closely, I think it is of a superior quality to the gifts my old friend once gave me.
No, this is enough to make you start, if the touch of the mermaid's fingers upon your own was not. Could your silly gift really be better than those she once accepted?
I think so. My friend's trinkets were all rather clumsy in execution, but I cherished them nonetheless. They were very precious to me. They did not last for very long, though. Not when I took them with me to my home beneath the ocean. The water soon rent the fragile links between the flower stems asunder. Your diadem, however, seems more sturdy, but is, by the same token, very delicate. You must be very good with your hands.
You think back briefly on your disastrous swimming lessons in the past, of your numerous failed attempts to thread your needle, while the other girls giggled at you, and you blush. You think the mermaid's praise might be a touch too effusive. You tell the mermaid as much, but she only laughs.
Oh, I do not think so. Now.
The mermaid places your floral trinket upon her head. Here we go. Nice. Let's do this. Thank you. Then surveys you in a manner which seems almost coquettish.
What do you think?
You think that the mermaid is radiant? Fool. That is less because of your gift and more because of her natural looks. You tell the mermaid this. Phono's in terms quiet is glowing, and she giggles.
Oh, you are selling yourself too short. I think your gift is lovely, really. The flowers rather match my hair.
True. Yes, you answer with a nod of your head. That is why you pick these flowers. She's all you've been able to think of.
I'm glad you've been thinking of me. I, in truth, have been thinking of you, for I don't wish to say as much.
No?
No, it would be embarrassing to confess how much I've been looking forward to our reunion if you did not feel similarly. I'd not care to pine for humans from afar. But if you care for me as I do, you, then makes me feel less alone.
You hasten to assure the mermaid, your face aflame. Do you ever stop blushing? Goodness gracious, that you do care for her, very much so. You have not known her for very long, but she has certainly made an impression upon you. She's such an easy conversationalist. The time simply slips by when you are together. And it does not hurt, of course, that she's so pretty.
I've heard it said, yes, but my looks are rather appealing. My old friend was similarly complimentary.
Oh, I bet you would prefer, like, your personality to be complimented at this point.
I cannot blame you humans for being so taken with me when my form is so very graceful. Your legs seem rather cumbersome in comparison to my smooth, sleek tail. It must be so very depressing to lumber about on land as you do, living your days beneath the harsh sun and the cool, unfeeling moon. Sometimes I rather think I pity you. But the surface is a good deal brighter than it is beneath the ocean. I will grant you that much.
True. That is true. You agree with the mermaid, still being flushed, that there are some perks to having legs. An agreement which makes the mermaid giggle.
I'm certain that there are. We can explore the ocean's depths as I can. I presume you have never tried it.
Obviously. You shake your head no. You'd never thought to do so, largely because you never been so close to the sea before, not in all of your life. You did not have much opportunity for nautical exploration in the past. You were not allowed to go anywhere then, save to the local church. Oof. It was quite a lonely existence.
Well now, that is a pity. You were kind enough to give me a gift fashioned from flowers which grow where I cannot reach them, so perhaps I ought to return the favor.
Huh? Favor?
Yeah, that is right. It would seem only fitting that I give you to you something which can only be found in the ocean's depths. Perhaps we could look at it as a form of cultural exchange.
Oh no, you protest. Your eyes wide, you couldn't possibly put such a burden upon her. You did not give her a gift, after all, because you wanted to receive anything in return. Anything other than her friendship, that is. Her conversion is more than enough to satisfy you. You do not need any physical present on top of that. The mermaid does not seem convinced, however, by your naysaying. She raises one eyebrow. Even this gesture is performed elegantly and then says,
If my company is all it takes to satisfy you, then you are easy to please indeed. But please, do not rebuff me. I'm offering because I wish to do this. Remember what I said. I'll not say things for the sake of it.
Well, you murmur if Shirley doesn't mind.
Of course I do not mind. Now, wait there. I will not be very long. It would be rude to abandon my new friend in the midst of a conversation.
Okay. The mermaid turns her attention towards the clear, mirror-like water which shimmers beneath the moonlight. Then she dives. Her body arches elegantly through the air. Her long, slender limbs cleaving through the surface of the water with nary a ripple. The mermaid's face is first submerged, then her torso, and at long last her tail, which is as expected in a way. The water rushes forth to envelop her as though it has been waiting for her. It subsumes her. Subsumes her. It swallows her. Then she disappears from the view. The mermaid is gone, but you are still there. Well, now, what are you to do, huh? There is nothing that can be done, you suppose. Safe waiting. You stand there for several moments, watching the black water lap against the shore. The breeze howls mournfully, like a wounded animal, as it buffets your hair about your face and your torn skirt around your legs. Time elapses, but how much of it? While you stand there, fretfully feeling as ostentatious as a maypole. When will the mermaid return? Will she ever return? You are starting to worry. Is that all you do? When? Look, over there, by the rocks, upon which the mermaid once sat, the water is rippling. It looks as though your new friend has returned. The mermaid pulls herself onto the rocks, using a surprising amount of upper body strength, then smiles at you.
I apologize for the wait. I hope I did not make you worry.
You are worrying, but you are not half so honest as a mermaid. Mermaids might be spoken of as devious tricksters who lure sailors to their deaths, but they are in actuality very sincere. They are much more sincere than most humans. Perhaps that is why your kind fears them so. There are few creatures who inhabit this world whose capacity for lying is greater than your own. You tell the mermaid that you were not worrying, and she answers with a wry smile.
I'm not so sure about that.
The mermaid is willier than you are giving her credit for. She has seen straight through you.
But no matter. It took me some time, but I was finally able to retrieve for you a gift. I do not have the means to turn this into a pretty piece of jewelry, as you did with the flowers, but I wish to give it to you nonetheless. I do hope that you like it.
The mermaid leans forwards, then holds her gift out towards you. Her slender fingers unfurl about it, like the petals flower being folded back and... what, like a pearl? No, it's a conch. Conch? Whatever. Ah, what a pretty gift it is. The ocean might be dark and deep, cold and unfeeling, but the same cannot be said for the object which glitters upon the mermaid's palm. She has fished from the depths of the water a beautiful shell. Or shell, that's true. Why am I looking for some different word? The less common word. A beautiful shell, one which shimmers prismatic colors beneath the moon's light, much like the scales on her tail. Hopefully there is nothing inside. The shell is so very pretty, it quite takes your breath away. You look at the shell worriedly, your teeth biting your lower lip. That is a bad habit, you know. It is kinda like hot when someone does that for, yeah. You'll make yourself bleed. Then ask the mermaid if she is really alright. Would a gift like this not be wasted on you?
Of course not. I want you to have this shell because it makes me think of you. It does? How so? I thought it should be obvious. The shell is a lovely find. As are you.
Oh. Did she just call you lovely? Surely must have misheard her. You can scarcely believe it. It is an awful lot for you to take in, but...
Now, why are you gawping at me like that? The wind will change, you know, and then your face will be stuck like that, which would be quite a shame. You'd waste your good looks, which for a maiden such as yourself would be nothing short of a tragedy. It seems as for the mermaid...
It seems as the mermaid really does think you are pretty after all. The mermaid, with her smooth skin and her fairy fair hair. You can scarcely believe it. There is something almost laugh about the mermaid's compliments. How could she call you pretty when her looks are so immediately obviously superior? Tongue-tied, you look at your feet. You do not know how to reply to the mermaid. You have half a mind to refute her words, to tell her that you are not that pretty. Not really, but you fear that might look rude. You don't want to rebuff the mermaid's well wishes. There is nothing for it. then but to take the shell which the mermaid retrieved from the ocean's depths for you. You don't think that you are worthy of it, but neither do you want to refuse it.
Now, that is a surprise,
The mermaid says, amused as you reach for the shell.
I did not think you would be bold enough to take it, not without more coaxing on my part. You've exceeded my expectations. Ah, what a good girl you are.
Your heart flutters with this praise, and it flutters all the more when your trembling fingers brush against the mermaid's palm. She presses the shell into your skin, and your own fingers tighten about it. The shell is sharp and pointed, and digs uncomfortably into your skin. It hurts! But there is a pleasure in the pain. This too feels like a gift from the mermaid. You do not want to spurn it. Even pain can be a precious thing when dealt by one whom you care for. What? You never knew that before. You hold the shell to your heart, which is beating an irregular rhythm, and look at the mermaid. Then very softly, you thank her.
Thank you. It is quite all right. It seems only fair after you shared part of your world with me. I wish to share part of my world with you too. Humans cannot normally descend beneath the ocean's depths, and even if they do, they cannot remain there for very long. You are far too fragile. Would that I would bring you with me to my underwater kingdom, where we might be together.
The mermaid's melodic voice trails away, suffused with something resembling melancholia. She sighs. Then she shakes her head and smiles.
But this will have to do for the present. Please take good care of the shell. Look at it from time to time and think of me.
Oh, you bet she'll be looking at that shell constantly.
That would make me very happy indeed.
And that's how that night ended.
And you know what? That's why we'll also end the episode now.
I'll overwrite over here. Whatever. I'll be overwriting the no choices options later, I guess. If I run out of space. Alright. Not a terrible day with our mermaid. Prepared a gift for her. Given her the gift. The gift was to her liking, apparently. Then she brought one of her own. Alright. You could say things are going pretty well between our girls here. We'll see where this is all going to go for. I mean, she's mermaid, again. She might be baiting here, right? Again, because a mermaid. We'll see. We'll see. But for today, that's it. Consider liking the video, subscribing and so on. Always appreciated. The game, of course, is linked in the description. You can get it for free on Steam and I believe on the itch.io as well. And that's about all I wanted to say. Hope you have a great second half of the weekend, given that it is Sunday tomorrow when I upload this. Yeah. So have a good one. Bye bye.